Alrighty, we are coming back at you again with a Milsbo cabinet update. I was able to acquire that tall Milsbo cabinet for my daughter for her housewarming gift. So we got that put together. There are some slight differences with that and how it's built. And let's go to that now. We got that tall Milsbo cabinet that I spoke of. And I want to show one quick thing that I didn't bring out in my other video. There's a dog. Right. They tell you to level this cabinet up afterwards you building it. My suggestion is to do it at this stage because if you have to lift and do anything, it's better to do it without the glass and the weight of the cabinet. So we got this all leveled up the way we want it. I just wanted to bring this point to everyone's attention. And of course we got some extra space here so we can allow for another cabinet to come in. But we get this built and we'll do some measurements and we'll compare the specs of this particular cabinet with the other cabinets that I have previously done in videos. Okay, we got a few differences with this particular Milsbo over the other Milsbo, the shorter cabinets. On the other one, you would put your glass in and then the top. On this one, they want you to put your top on and then we'll push our glass in afterwards. The top will come in as such, like this. And we'll drive our 3/4 bolts in there with the Allen key heads, and of course our small screw will go into the back of the centerpiece. So we're going to get that done. We'll come right back and we'll put the glass in. Okay, we've continued on. I've already got the top loosely. The bolts are in, but it's loose, and you'll see why in a minute. I have one glass in, this glass in. I have just one here holding this up, one mount here as well as one here, and that'll hold it just in place. I'm going to remove this in order to put the other two glass in. But the glass shouldn't go because I have it held here. Now bear in mind that these shelf supports are, not only do they support your shelves, they also support the glass from falling in, so be mindful of that. So we're going to take this out for right now, just for a minute. I'm going to set that here to the side. Get our sheet of glass. All this glass is the same size. Put the glass in. Now you got two little nipples down there, little tit-willy bumps. You got to make sure you're behind the bump. Alright, you just push that glass in, and the reason you need to be able to lift this up is because you have a piece of support metal that the glass will not pass unless you're able to lift the top up enough to allow the glass to come in. Alright, so we got that glass in there. That's fine. Let's put this centerpiece in. That'll hold that glass into place. Okay, we got our centerpiece in. Support. We only got one more piece of glass to put in. Slide that in like that. Ever so gently. I know it don't sound like I'm being gentle, but I gotta lift that up. Alright, that's in place. Okay, now that I've got all 4 pieces of glass in, and I have at least 1 shelf support at each corner. At this point in time, I'll check and make sure everything's it's not pinching the glass, so that when I tighten this down, you don't crack the glass. Make sure everything is fine. You know, test push it down, make sure, you know, you don't want to start cranking down ahead of time and all of a sudden crack your glass. So make sure everything before you crank it down, nothing's pinched. But now that's what we're going to do now. We're going to crank everything down. And we'll be right back. Okay, we got this cabinet all together. I want to say a few things about putting the glass in. Along with having the little bumps down on each spot here on the bottom, you got to slide in behind. You also have a ridge, bump ridge here you got to be behind. And there's a little piece of foam there. So when you start to tighten this top down, it will seem a little snug at first, but just gently push it down, and that will push into that foam and give you a nice little seal. Just as with anything, don't try to over torque it. Torque it tight. Once it gets tight, it's good. Don't over crank it. Alright, so a few things about the cabinet I want to talk about. Okay, the overall height. This cabinet is 69 inches. Our inside dimensions are 26.5 inches wide. 26.5 inches wide. 13.5 inches deep from front to back. And from the bottom to the top. Now, not behind the lip, as you know. I don't measure up in there. I measure to what you can see. All right, and with that, you have 58 inches tall. You have 58 inches of clearance. These holes, you have 9 holes that you can move your shelving around. They are 5 inches apart. You have 3 pieces of glass, and each glass is 5/32 thick. So there you have some specs on this cabinet. A few little differences in how this one is put together versus the shorter white one. And looks pretty good. Also, one more quick thing. Our legs are 7 inches tall. So for the most part, it puts together like the white one. A little bit different because this is taller and how you put the glass in, and that's kind of where it starts to get a little different on you. But other than that, that's it. Alright, there you go with all the specs of the tall Milsbo cabinet. I want to talk a little bit about the shelving of these other cabinets. Got the micrometer, digital micrometer. Okay, that Milsbo cabinet with the 5/32 shelf thickness, the glass of the shelf, and that's good for 11 pounds. Coming in second for thickness of glass and weight ability is the Rudsta with 3/16 of an inch thick glass at 20 pounds. And of course the short Milsbo cabinet, which is the white ones I built, which is basically behind this camera. Those are, where are we at? 15/64, which is basically a 64th shy of a 1/4 inch. You might as well just say a 1/4 inch. And of course that's good for 44 pounds. And if you notice in the video with the Milsbo cabinet, what was it, 9 holes and 5 inches apart. So you notice I didn't do any measuring between the shelving, simply because there is so many different possibilities with that many holes. You know, you can adjust your shelf, so wasn't really necessary in my mind to go through a bunch of different, you know, measurements. So lot of possibilities for shelf adjustment there with that. I thought that was really great with that cabinet. But anyway, that should give you a pretty informed decision about these cabinets, the Rudsta and both Milsbo, and of course with other people having the DTOS, which most people use. Hopefully that should give you a pretty informed decision as to what cabinet might suit you best. So until the next time, we'll catch you later.